Hey gang, this is Steve Bowler, also known as Stan Tall Steve, here once again getting some information to you about, and our topic today about is compliance versus commitment. Compliance versus commitment. The two C's, back to back. Now, when you hear compliance and commitment, your mind is probably already going like, man, this is going to be a good one, right? This is something that's really neat. Well, before we really jump into all of this right now, I want you to check out where I am. Now, I'm on the balcony of my hotel room and I know it's hard to see for those who are watching it, but I'm in Saudi Arabia. That's right, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm in the diplomatic quarter and I'm working with King Faisal School, IB International School. What an amazing opportunity. I did some speaking in the Netherlands a year ago at a conference, and they were in the audience. And in turn, they reached out to me. We made some connections, and then here I am, pretty much almost a year later, working with them for a week. That's the possibilities of educational speaking. And we have a big conference that we're doing and everything. It's going to be great. Wrapping back around to what our topic is, and I'm thinking this is a great opportunity to do this, is to talk about compliance versus commitment. Compliance versus commitment. Now, let's talk about these two things. First of all, let's talk about education in general, how education, schools are very compliance driven. And it's kind of funny I say this, being in the diplomatic quarter here in Saudi Arabia. The diplomatic quarter is where all the embassies are. Like the American embassy is right over that way. And I think that I saw like a bunch of other British embassies. They're all right within this area, and the school's right here. And those embassies in militaries and countries, compliance is important. They set standards, they set expectations, and then they have to follow those things. This is the law. All right, let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. When I say the word compliance, what other kind of words come to mind? What other kind of words come to mind, right? We know. You think of law, expectations, requirements, policy, guides that you have to follow, set goals, set expectations, right? All of those words come to mind when you hear the word compliance. But let's go a little bit further with that. Let's talk about emotional words that go with the word of compliance. Emotional words. Emotional words that go along with compliance, I would say would be oppression, stress, timeline, nervousness. All right, now I know with some people, it is comfort. I know exactly what it is I have to do. I don't have to think. I know what I have to do. I do it. I go home. I have my own time. All right? I get that. That's what it, when we're talking about compliance. But here's the thing, here's the thing about compliance, gang. When we're talking about compliance, it is necessary to have compliance. You have to have it. You do. I'm not sitting here to say that compliance is a bad thing. You have to have rules, you have to have expectations, you have to have guides. So therefore, we have a framework to work within. We do. Those are necessary. All of my special ed people out there that are in education, special ed, calm down. Calm down. I'm not ragging on compliance, but our special ed community, our special ed family, all of you are like, we live by compliance. Our IEPs, our meetings, our follow-ups. We have 90 days from the time that they say this to the time that we follow up. I know, you gotta have that. And it's important to maintain a level of compliance. But the mindset, let's go back to the emotional side of compliance. The mindset of people who are in compliance, it only goes so far. The work that could be done. It only goes so far. It doesn't go to the level of what we know is outrageously acceptable. A lot of times when people put together compliance frameworks or policies, the level of outcome that we're expecting from the compliance level is just enough. It's just enough to get by. It's just enough to show a little bit of growth, right? When we're even talking about standards in education, instructional standards, all right, this will do. If you really look at all these, yes, they're challenging standards, but if you do it, it'll do, right? the rules that you have, it'll do, right? That's what compliance is all about. It'll do. So that way, if people leave you alone, you can keep your job, you fulfilled your contract, and you're just going on. But there's still that level of complacency, another C word, that may take place because of compliance. So to me, compliance is accomplishment. You are accomplishing, but it's a lower level of accomplishment. Compliance is accomplishment, but it's a lower level of accomplishment. Now let's switch the script. Let's move over to commitment. Let's do the word association game. We're playing another game. When you hear the word commitment, what other words come to mind? I'm going to pause on this one, let you ponder. What other words come to mind when you hear commitment? All right, I think engage, empower, dedicated, morals, values, the lift, just being all in, all a part of it. That is commitment. I don't know, I gotta pause real quick. Can you hear this? You hear the sounds, someone's chanting or saying something? That is called, that in here in Saudi Arabia, that's their call to prayer. It happens 5 times a day. 5 times a day. It's a call to prayer for those who aren't familiar. So you hear it. It's very faint. Sorry that you guys can't hear it. All right. Anyway, so let's get back to our word game that we have for commitment. Empower, exciting, committed, dedication. Those are the words that come to mind when I hear the word commitment. I'm sure some of you have the same thing. I'm all in. I got it. I'm all about it. Those are the things you may have come up with. So when work needs to get done, when instruction needs to get done, when policies need to be developed, or you need to sit down and do work, or you need to focus in on something in a school, if you have a mindset of being committed, I think you're going to go above and beyond the outcomes that would be if you were just compliant with. When you're committed, you have to be committed to something. All right. Compliance means, here you go, do this. Committed means that you're committed to something. There is something that you're committed to. Now, a lot of cases we said we're committed to the kids. That's good, but let's narrow that down. What is it that we all respect and value? Now, if you heard any of my previous episodes, talks, speeches, whatever, I'm always talking about identifying what you respect and value collectively. All right, collectively, a set of collective commitments. Right. So what is it that we all respect and value together, and being committed to that, to ensuring that the outcomes that we want to see, the resultant outcomes, are connected to that shared set of commitments, collective commitments. Now, when you're committed to those things, committed to the lesson, committed to the standards, committed to all those things, then you're going to do whatever is necessary to make that happen. You're going to be thinking more creatively. You're going to be dissecting and connecting and figuring out, investigating how to get those outcomes, how to make the best for those things. Now, I don't know about you. I've been around to a lot of schools, apparently all over the world. And I have yet to see any school be outrageously successful just being compliant. If you are just compliant, it's like, what is it, practice? You talk about practice, right? Compliant? You talk about compliant? Just compliance? How good are you going to be? You got to be committed. You have to be all in. When you're committed, you're all into what the shared things that we respect and value. Now, one person individually doing it, that's great. Let's say you're in your classroom, you're committed, you're doing it, you're rocking it out. But if we had a shared group who are committed to what we respect and value, it can't go anywhere but up. It can't go anywhere but higher. It just gets better and better. You're going to see those outcomes that are just overwhelming, amazing. Now let's go to your leadership, school leadership. When the school leadership is committed to what you value, the respect and value, your vision, now you have someone who's going to support those that they're leading so much better, so more relationship based intently than someone who's just compliant, who's going in and checking. That's a boss. Do it. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Hey, we're committed to this. How can I help you make that happen? What else can I do? What idea do you have? What's happening with you? Ooh, this is juicy. Yes, let me help you with that. That's the difference. And here's the thing, leaders, going back to just my leaders who are here, when you have that vision, you have those values that you're committed to. If you have a vision and nobody else sees it, what good is it? What good is it if nobody else sees it? You have it in your head and you're not sharing it constantly, not just every now and then, constantly sharing that out to everyone else. You're opening your mouth. You're talking to the students, to the parents, to the teachers, to the community, to the custodian, to the secretary, to the teacher's aides, to everyone. You're constantly talking about and showcasing what your vision and values are, and you're committed to it. Does that increase the probability of other people being committed to it too? That's not a rhetorical question. I'm asking. Yes, answer. If you're in your car listening to this, or you're by yourself, answer. Say it out loud. Yes or no? Does it increase the probability of other people becoming committed to it as well? Yes. Yes, it does. And you know this. So you constantly share what the shared values and vision and mission is with everyone so that it increases that probability of commitment. Now let's go to the students. We talked about the teachers, the staff being committed. Moving to the next level, we talked about administrators, leaders being committed, showcasing, make sure you share it because it comes from the top down. Everybody knows that, everybody hears that. Let's talk about the students. Let's say if we had students who are more committed to the school, to their learning, what are you going to get? You're going to get that intrinsic value, that intrinsic love of learning, that desire. Because if you're just compliant, mom, dad, the law says I have to be here, so I'm here. It'll just get me, what grade will I get if I do this? What am I going to get? Right? It is school spirit. Well, they have an assembly. We say you have to go. I'm going to sit here. They said to be quiet, so I'm going to be quiet. Instead of being invested, I'd rather have a school assembly where there's excited chatter from the kids than sitting there in complete silence. Right? Have a pep rally where nobody does anything. They're sitting on their phones the whole time, as opposed to, we got a pep rally. We're all in on this. We have an academic pep rally. We're getting recognized for it. We're all in. We are committed to the values of this school. And it is showcased in multiple locations. And teachers and the adults are recognizing us when we are doing it instead of putting us down when we're not. That's it a lot. I paused there for a reason. They're recognizing us when we're showcasing what it is we respect and value in this school instead of constantly putting us down when we are not. Think of the kind of kid that you would have then. Think, what kind of student would you be pumping out then? You want to talk about student leadership, student led? That's how that happens, by showcasing. And you say, well, how can we get these kids committed? Do what I just said. Start going out of your way to recognize all students, whoever they are, when they're doing what it is that you respect and value and you're committed to. When they showcase it, recognize them. And I'm not saying give them anything. You don't got to give them school swag or pencils or stickers, or open your mouth and say something nice. The more that more adults do that, the more often that they do it, they'll increase that probability of school spirit and that commitment level. Because now the adults are showcasing that they're committed to making sure that the students are committed. The administrators are committed to making sure that the adults are committed, and then the adults are committed to making sure that the students are committed. And then once they're committed, that reinforces and fuels your internal motivation to keep going back to the teachers, back to the adults, to the administrators. Are you seeing the formula? Are you understanding the Pay attention, y'all. Wake up. Y'all hear this? I get excited over this. Y'all know I do. I'm out here in the heat because it is hot on this balcony. It is hot, y'all. Saudi Arabia is hot. I'm out here in this heat doing my best to get this point across to you so that you understand the difference between compliance and commitment, the value of compliance and commitment, what's needed for compliance and commitment. All right, y'all. Boom, I gave you all some information. I gave you something to think on. Take this back to your PLCs, take this back to your leadership groups, take this back to your parent groups, take it back to your student leadership groups, take it back to all areas of your school and showcase this video, all right? Talk about this video. This video is what, about 20, 25 minutes or so? That's enough time. Find some time. Show the video, have a discussion. Listen to the audio, have a discussion about compliance or commitment. Which one are you and which way do you want to go? Identify together what it is you respect and value. All right, let me wrap this up. Let me wrap this up with some ideas. I'm not even prepped for these ideas. So let me give you an idea. Oh, here you go. I got a new book out. 10 Classroom Motivators. I think it's that's coming out soon. We're working on the title. Check on Amazon. It is out there. We're going to be putting it on my website soon. These are classroom starters, 10-minute classroom starters that will help your class get going, get moving, get excited at the beginning. Each of these little things are 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to prep at all. Open the book. It says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Read them. They're big. They're easy. One of the things is either or. You simply start the class off. Okay, either or. Would you like to either be the funniest person in the room or the smartest person in the room? Either or. Which one? Kids raise their hand, they answer, okay, cool. Would you either eat a snake or eat a spider? Something silly like that. And they can say, I wouldn't either or. Nope, you got to pick one or the other. It's just things that you can connect with your students, develop that relationships with them. There's a whole book on it. It was co-authored by me and Tina Dietrich. Go to Amazon, check it out, get the book. It's awesome, right? There's your idea. Also, if you're an educator in any way that has information and you're interested in becoming an educational speaker, you would like to go out there and speak to other educators, provide information, provide knowledge, speak, train, consult. Look up withinOurRanks.com. WithinOurRanks.com. It is training for educators who want to speak professionally. It is done by me for people within our own ranks, educators only. Check it out, withinOurRanks.com. There you go. Boom. I am Chantal Steve here in beautiful Saudi Arabia. And hopefully I gave you some Stand Tall tips and Stand Tall knowledge here on the Stand Tall Leadership Show. Thank you so much, gang. Have a good one.